Thanks for staying with Asia Business Tonight. A company's human capital is one of its key assets, but it is also one of the more difficult components to manage. The problem is compounded in Asia, where there is a multicultural workforce. How can companies maximize the full potential from their Asian workforce? Let's find out in this week's Sector Spotlight. My guest tonight is Andrew Calvert, Regional Director and Solution Architect at AchieveGlobal Singapore. Andrew, tell me about the top 3 things that companies can do to motivate and engage Asian employees.
The research that AchieveGlobal conducted and reviewed suggests we're motivated by 3 things. A sense of competence. We like to be good at what we do. Nobody goes to work to be the worst employee. We all want to do our best. We're also gregarious by nature. There's a strong need for relatedness, to be a part of a strong work team. And finally, we don't mind being set goals, but we want a degree of autonomy, being left alone to achieve those goals. In order to meet those needs, you can motivate people by creating a sense of autonomy, relatedness, and competence. The way you do that is you avoid controlling language by saying should, ought to, must, or have to. And probably the best way to do it is to engage your employees, to talk to them, ask them questions, get their opinion, especially when making policy decisions. If you listen to them and show that you've listened, that's a great motivator. And finally, we also find that, I already mentioned controlling languages, managers also need to share the information or the reasons behind decisions, the facts, the data. All of those things make people feel like they're being treated as equals, with respect, and they satisfy those 3 psychological needs.
Talk about some challenges of managing an Asian workforce.
Well, the 21st century is a complex and unpredictable place. Management is finding 2 things we see in Asia. One is that multi-generational workforce. People in their 60s, 50s, 40s, people coming straight out of college, young men just coming out of national service. How do you motivate them? You can't have a different plan for each one, so focus on competence, relatedness, and autonomy. Second big one we're seeing is a shortage of talent in the leadership pipeline. And again, growing that talent in-house is what we find a lot of world-class organizations are doing. By focusing on making people good at what they do, giving them projects that play to their strengths rather than their developmental areas, you can develop a leadership pipeline, thus overcoming that gap.
How can companies overcome these challenges?
Well, I already mentioned focusing on developing that leadership pipeline. Secondly, by engaging your employees, by having those conversations more and more, you learn what motivates them, what's important to them, and they'll give you some great insights. We talk also in some of our work about innovation. A key driver of innovation is that diversity of opinion. So you can almost kill 2 birds with 1 stone. By engaging your employees, not only can you motivate them, you can also create great opportunities for innovation.
Andrew, thank you for sharing those insights. And I have been speaking with Andrew Calvert from AchieveGlobal Singapore.